hopefully everything is fine. Because there was a storm going on this morning. It seems to have passed. A couple of announcements, too. For one, Endwalker was delayed, so I don't need to rush this anymore. Technically, if everything was going to schedule, we would have been done just past Sunday. Everything didn't go to schedule. But that's fine. We have plenty of time till Endwalker now. We have just under 4 months. Or, 4 months. What the fuck? 4 weeks. 4 weeks. It's kind of, disappointing to me because that's, like, finals week. Like, I think the official launch day is right when I have a final going on. So that's gonna be hell. But, you know, if Yoshi P said the game needed 2 weeks, the game needed fucking 2 weeks, okay? I would have given him a 3rd week. I totally would have. So it would have been after finals week, but hey. Whatever. Just whatever. I get 2 weeks after the initial, the actual launch anyways, and I have a whole weekend after, for early access as well. I will not sleep that weekend, and that's not going to be fun. And people will think that I've stayed up like 48 hours straight studying when it's actually just me playing Endwalker. Anyways, second announcement. Stas will no longer be joining me. We lost both of them. We lost both Patrick and Stas. Turns out that last stream really fucked up Stas's life. The last time we played this, when we tried to go as long as possible. I'm not privy to the details, and I don't think you'd be comfortable with me sharing them either if I did know the details, but case in point, there's a lot of things going on in his life, and he's taking time away from just online in general to get it together, you know? There's also the reason why I haven't streamed for the past, like, week. It's because of that. So, and, you know, we already lost Patrick because, you know, he's a working man. He's got a lot of things going on. He hasn't been able to catch up with the streams at all. So because of which, we'll be doing the rest of these streams alone. At least, I'll finish up Shadowbringers Part 2, because we're literally at the end. We only have like 6 quests left. We only have literally just 1 dungeon and 1 boss fight left. Till the credits roll. So that's why I fired up the stream today, just to finish it off. And we still have fucking 5 point, the patch quests as well, 5.1 to 5.5. But at least I'll have the comfort of knowing I have plenty of time to do that now. So, I guess without further ado, let's do this. Just finish up Shadowbringers. I'm going to ask Patrick later today, maybe, how far into the streams he's gone. I doubt that he's gone past the first one that he was gone for. Because apparently he just can't spare 6.5 hours, but you know. I mean, it's reasonable why, you know, and granted, by the way, finishing up Shadowbringers is not going to take too long. Again, we only have, like, where were we? The end of the world? We literally only have 3 quests left. We were right there, Stas. Why'd you have to leave? We were right there. We had like an hour or two left. Anyway, so I'm not gonna go straight into part 3 like I originally planned last week, because just honestly speaking, I don't really need to anymore. It's not like Endwalker comes out next week anymore or anything like that, so I think I'm just gonna chill after I'm done with the stream, honestly. And done with all the shit. But yeah. In terms of what I've been up to, I've realized that one of the reasons why I don't really play a lot of games over in 14 lately is because I've been streaming games. Like, okay, Neo No World Ends With You is fucking a nightmare because, like, I haven't touched that game since the last stream, and I really want to finish it, like, within the century. But I think, like, I have an obligation to only play that during stream. And that's just simply untrue. I don't have to do that. I just but that's probably like one of the big things preventing me from finishing up that game. Who knows? Maybe since Endwalker's been pushed back, I could totally do that in between Final Fantasy streams. But, you know, after having that realization, I was just like, fuck it, I'll just start Metroid Dread. I was originally planning on streaming Metroid Dread a month past after launch, and I was still streaming Final Fantasy. So, so I was just like, fuck it, I'll just play Dread off stream, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's fucking difficult, man. It's really hard. But it's really fun still. I am not playing optimally at all, I know that, but yeah. Let's just continue with the story here. Good gracious, child. Where is your family? You should not be alone at a time like this. Run along home, quickly now. Have you not heard? Though yet confined to the lands across the sea, a terrible phenomenon afflicts our star. They're calling it the final days. 'Tis said it starts suddenly, a cacophonous keening from beneath the earth. This sound distorts all living things within earshot, and wrests from us control of our creation magics. Once that happens, all is lost. Fear, pain, despair. Every dread impulse is siphoned from our minds and given substance. An eternity fall of fiery rain, an incessant spawning of nightmarish beasts. None can point to the source of the phenomenon. 'Tis as if the star itself has fallen ill, as if a force inimical to life now festers and spreads. People say I have a huge vocabulary, holy shit. 'Tis only a matter of time until Emerald too resounds to that discordant squall. You should stay with your loved ones, child. Stay with them. Anyways, back to this being my like literal favorite area in all of Final Fantasy XIV. I love it so much because it reminds me so much of Insomnia in Final Fantasy XV, which I really love the aesthetic of. I know it's just straight up just a modern city, but I mean, clearly I love that aesthetic if I love this place as well, because it's a modern city, alright? It just looks a little funkier. It's also sized to, like, gigantic proportions, so... Which honestly just makes it huger. Twould seem the hall is host to a most precious visitor this day. And what, pray tell, shall be the subject of our discussion, young one? What's happening? The convocation and their handling of the coming battle. 'Tis only natural that you should have questions. Shall we begin with the members themselves? As all know, the 14 are the wisest and most poisoned among us. They are the stewards of order, responsible for decisions which keep the star turning season after season. Be it the speaker, La Habrea, or the emissary, Elidibus, each seat is occupied by an elected sage of surpassing intellect. Lolgrith, Mitron, Emetsilk, Their individual titles have, as a gesture of respect and a matter of tradition, been synonymous with their incumbents. Thus, it is with great incredulity that I grant this recent rumor that a seat in the convocation is soon to be left vacant. Yes. Okay, we got an all clear for the store. Sorry, that's out of dialogue. My phone just fucking screamed at me saying, yes, the storm has passed. Anyways, if proven true, it would be unprecedented development and testament to the immense pressure under which our saviors are toiling. In any event, I for one, am confident they shall deliver our star unto salvation. It's so pretty, isn't it? Especially under the sea like this, you know? I love how they're not even remotely trying to make it aquatic theme, they're just making it foreign. I mean, it does seem slightly aquatic themed. I think it's because Amarot originally was under the sea. Or was it like near the shore or whatever. Coastal town, you know? It's probably how it came to look like this anyways. An audience with Emmett Silk? I'm afraid you have the wrong office, little one. And besides, he will be far too busy to field the questions of curious children. Surely you have been told of the looming catastrophe. Every resource available to the convocation must be spent upon ensuring our world survives. They have yet to make an official announcement, but it is said the 14 are moving forward with a plan of scarce credible proportions, one which promises to grant will to the very star itself. They will invoke our mightiest spells of creation to birth an entity of all-encompassing magnificence, and then they will rewrite the laws of existence. 'Tis a huge undertaking, and it must be complicated. It must be completed ere the corruption spreads this far. Thus, I say to you again, do not hold out hope for an audience. So love the music here as well. This is a pretty significant place in 5.3 as well, which is like basically the best patch in the game. It's a shame Stas couldn't make it up until this part. I thought he would make it to the end. I think he did as well, but then he was like, oh shit, like my life is actually ruined, I need to fix it, so. Not gonna blame him for that, Alpha now, let's go. Somnus, if I was not certain before than I am now, the people of the city believe they face the end of the world. I cannot imagine what purpose compelled Emmett Silk to recreate this ancient Amarot. And yet, I fancy I hear his words to us echoing throughout this ocean trench. He would have his story known. We could compare notes once the others return. Hopefully then our next move will become clear. To it seem, our conversations were much alike. A looming disaster, creation magics running rampant, and this convocation's efforts to bring salvation out of chaos. I suppose there was talk of little else in the time when these events came to pass. Rianje, if I may. What are your thoughts on the ancients' art of creation? A fascinating discipline indeed. Aught the mind can conceive may be rendered in reality. All that is required is a clear concept upon which to focus one's will. 'Tis not dissimilar to the primal rites taught by the Asians, wherein ritual ceremony breatheth life into figments of myth and legend. I see we arrived at the same conclusion then. The people who lived in the age before the Sundering were blessed with vast reserves of mana. No matter how draining these creation magics must be, it seems they paid the cost with not more than a fraction of the ether which coursed through their own bodies. If we were to attempt the same, such spells would soon deplete our energies, and then seek to draw the balance from elsewhere, from a hoard of crystals mayhap, or from the very land itself. Thus, when this art of creation was placed into our hands, it became in effect a means for destruction. An interesting matter which no doubt bears further study, but despite all these revelations, I worry we are no closer to finding Emmett Selk. Has anyone learned aught which may lead us to his location? Not directly, mayhap, but from what I've heard, it seems the Convocation of 14 is sequestered in the nearby Capitol building. When we went to see it for ourselves, the attendant wouldn't let us through without a writ of permission. So we tried our luck at the Bureau of Administrator, where we thought these permissions might be issued, but the clerk said the clerk there said he couldn't help us since our names didn't appear in the registry. And that was when we gave up. I wonder though, Somnus, could you be eligible for one of these writs? A voice in the lift seemed to know who you were. It might be that... The voice in the lift seemed to know what you were. It might be that your name is registered in the bureaus as well. Worth a look, I'd say. Meanwhile, I'll head back to the capital for a search for a less official point of entry, just in case. Pray, allow me to accompany thee on thy reconnaissance. An arcane perspective may prove needful. I think I'd like to speak with more of these ancients. Maybe they know something that could help cure Somnus' condition. Would you mind coming with me? Of course I don't mind. Lead the way. Then Yashtolna and I will busy ourselves with further exploration. There is surely more intelligence to be had. And so we part ways once more. This time, however, we must reconvene in front of the capital. What would add to the effect of you becoming a senator is like everything turning white and like having a screen filter over everything. But at the same time, like, what if you like after Crown of the Immaculate, you suddenly decided to just stop playing the game or like do a roulette or whatever, just do any other content other than the main story, and you have to play with a fucking filter over it. I guess it's not too long afterwards where you finish up MSQ anyways. But, like, I get that, you know? A visitor's writ. Ah, yes, I can assist you. Full name, please. Somnus Eterna. Please wait near the counter while I confirm your details. Okay. I'm not even a foot tall in this place, honestly. Tiny. Somnus Eterna, your application is ready for collection. As your residency was approved by Emmett Selk himself, further forms of identification will not be required. Here are your application documents. Submit them at the Bureau of the Secretariat, and the clerk will issue you with a visitor's writ for the capital. Yes, bureaucracy. By the way, this is the Aephorite. You can teleport here. It looks fancy, definitely. Nobody talks about it. There's also a repairman and a shop where we were just at for an inexplicable reason. I'll be honest. I don't know. I guess like it's a technically Emerald is technically a town, so that shit comes standard. But like. Yeah. One thing most disappointing, we can't explore the whole of Amarat, actually. You may notice that its footprint on the map is not as big as what it seems like. That's because it isn't as big as what it seems like. That center building right there, we can't enter. The simple and plain explanation is that one dungeon I mentioned earlier. That's actually Amarod in of itself. So that's the simple explanation. The more complicated explanation is, I mean, like, they have to do what 15 couldn't in order to fucking render the entirety of Amarod. So. And, like, this, like, the last area, I don't think they want to shove that huge of an area into, players like that. So we only get to explore the very small part of Amarod. But yeah. Next, please. Here you go. I wonder if anybody actually made a line for this whenever, when Shadowbringers was new. We're to the capital, are we? Please take a seat. Your name will be called once the application has been processed. Empty seat. I'll stand on top of it. Oh, come on. Oh, it's getting bad. May I? You, I think, are from a time beyond ours. Are you allowed? Have you followed in the wake of Emmett Silk? Nay, there is no cause for alarm. I am simply Shade, here and not here. I only know that my name is Hyphodeus, and that this city is a recreation, a phantom moment plucked from the well of history. These others seem unaware of their pale existence, but I wonder if Emmett Silk's mind was distracted when it came to my reconstruction. A stray thought would have been enough. Hyphodeus will realize the truth, for example. We were close friends once, you see. Yet, in spite of my perception, I played the same role as all the rest. A bit part, meant to bring color and noise to this well-crafted stage. Too much scrutiny, and we shall burst like the fragile bubbles we are. Thus, I tell you again, my presence is not to concern you. I wish only to share your company whilst we wait. If you've come this far, then you know the catastrophe which awaits us on our morrow. The final days. What began as isolated incidents soon swelled into a world-spanning threat. I'm not gonna talk over. I'm not gonna read over the ancient language that he's speaking here, just so I can translate it afterwards. The Convocation of 14, well, it was 13 at the time, endeavored endeavored to endeavored to create a will for our star. They would repair the fundamental laws of order and halt the spread of destruction. But creation on such a scale is required an immense source of power. Of those of us who lived, nearly half offered up their lives in the name of salvation. And from their sacrifice, Zodiac was born. Just as we had hoped, he reached forth and halted the march of oblivion. Yet, all the stars had suffered. So many species lost. The land was blighted, the waters poisoned, and even the wind had ceased to blow. Once more did our people give of themselves to Zodiac. Another half of our race sacrificed to cleanse the world, to ensure that trees and grasses and myriad tiny leaves would sprout and grow and flourish. The cycle of life had begun anew, and we reconsidered the means by which we might protect it. The convocation decided thus. We would nurture our world until it was bursting with vitality. Then, when the time was right, we would offer some portion of its living energy to Zodiac. In return, he would restore to us those breathen whose brethren. He would restore to us those brethren whose souls had fed his strength, and together we would resume our role as stewards. There were, however, those who disagreed with this plan. They argued that enough had been sacrificed to Zodiac, that this new world should belong to the lives newly born. These dissidents surrendered their life energies in the creation of Hydaelyn, an incarnation of their opposing belief, and for the first time in history, our people stood divided. Know you, then, how this conflict ended? I thought you might. Emitselk has ever been a champion for the will of Zodiac. The original plan may have been set back by millennia, but he will not abandon his course. He will pay the price for our return by whatever means is necessary. And though he may carry himself with a certain glib ease, Emitselk is not a man to bear his burdens lightly. In fact, I imagine they have only grown heavier with every passing century. Tis truly a terrible weight he has chosen to carry. Somnus Aeterna. It seems your time has come. Pray, do not let me keep you. Ah, there was one last thing. You walk with another at your side, yes? You can see Ardbert? Nay, I see no definite form. Just the faintest suggestion of a second soul. I doubt it visible to anyone but me. Otherwise, I assume only you can see or hear this ethereal companion. Your connection is hardly a coincidence. In our time, the two of us, and in our time, the two of you were one. The core of your souls tell the tale. A hue that distinctive cannot be mistaken, no matter how thin the soul is spread. This is just the kind of fate I might expect for one such as he. Surely Emet recognized a hint of him in you. Somnus Eterna? Fare you well, my new old friend. May you find what it is you seek. Gone like the wind. Speaking of wind, there was some pretty powerful gusts of wind that blasted my window just now. It subsided again, but holy shit. The all clear was not right. Your visitor's writ, as requested. When you wish to gain admittance to the capital, simply present the document to the attendant within. You know, if you squint hard enough, this car fits in with everything else. Certainly the ramps were made for vehicular travel, right? I doubt the ancients used vehicles anyways. Alright. Finally! You were gone so long I was on the verge of mounting a rescue party. How fared you in your bureaucratic ventures? I see my instincts were correct. And a good thing, too. Leon J and I weighed our chances of breaking into the capital, and an official entrance is by far the more attractive option. The capital boasts of not a single armed sentry. 'Twould seem that in their time they did not deem it needful to post guards. The windows and doors, however, remain heavily warded, though mightily did we strive, with strength mundane and magical. We failed to budge them, even a fraction of one ilm. Mayhap 'twas simply the case that Emmett Selk's recreation did not extend to the usual function. We didn't try everything, of course, but we found it best to conserve our energy and time for more pressing matters. Speaking of which, Rin and I tried asking about a cure for you. The problem is these ancients didn't exist beyond Emeralds today. They will happily tell their own tales, but Whenever we attempted to explain our situation, the conversation quickly became muddled. What of you, Somnus? Was aught worthy of interest said during your efforts to obtain a writ? A great sacrifice of life in exchange for their brethren's resurrection. And you say all the Asians' scheming has been leading to this? All this time. But if they still mean to enact this plan, then things won't end with the rejoining. I thought we knew their intentions in full. Restore the world to its former glory, and in turn empower Zodiac to empower Zodiac to claim his throne as the will of the star. Yet that was merely a step along the way. I hesitate to put it into words, but we have to assume that following the final rejoining, the Asians mean to draw on the lives of the Source to make their sacrifice to Zodiac. That does seem to be the most likely scenario. Mayhap those who ally with the Asians might be spared that fate. What value is there in surviving when all our history, all our struggles, all be erased? I cannot conscience such an act. Of course not. And that's not to say of what Emmett Silk plans for the Exarch's power. Do we stand by and let him threaten our future as well as our past? We need to find him, Somnus, and when we do, make your mark. Change the course of history in a way that's felt by those who came before and those who came after. By everyone you've ever met. Change things so that even my other self, dying somewhere in that future calamity, will smile and say, I knew you would win. Is fighting him itself the only way? He created an entire city. It will take everything we have to defeat him, if we even can. And if you push that hard on your current state, the light will break free. The decision to press on lies with you, just as it lies with each and every one of us. I guess while we're making this decision, I'm going to try on that new fancy gear that Grendel made for me. As in, I'm changing my glamour. I need to get out of here though. In order to do that, whoa! Is that a human? Oh, that's a player. Oh, they're just RP walking. I thought they just like appeared in, like an NPC would. Huh. Anyways, I'm going to teleport and change the armor set to the hold up, to this set right here. There we go. My tail's sticking out. I don't know how much I quite like that, but yeah, my tail is sticking out. And I don't have my glowy weapon anymore. I don't know if I want my glowy weapon anyways, but still. I'm putting this on. And the Tempest. To Amaranth we go. Fuck! Fuck! Anyways. Yeah. Anyways. Alize. Do Do you remember the talk we had atop the tower in Montsuk? I'm still of the same mind now as I was then. I don't abandon you, and you don't abandon me. And together we make the difference in this fight. There's always hope if we look for it. I saw it again and again as you tore through those veils of light from the sky. If we keep taking that next step forward, there's a chance we'll find a way to save you. So no matter how long it takes or how much it hurts, you can count on me to keep on walking. Valkyrie spoke of the disaster we would bring upon our own heads, the ceaseless conflict. Imagine how he would sneer to see what's become of the first, not to mention your perilous predicament. And yet who can deny the fire your deeds have ignited in our people's hearts? You achieved what my logic and ideals never could, uniting a disparate peoples under the banner of hope and common purpose. Without you, that giant talus would never have raised its head. I have borne witness to many such miracles at your side, and would do so again, but this is another obstacle on the road. So come, let us travel it. Drag me through what wonder and danger, as you are wont to do, and I shall endeavor not to slow you down. As well thou knowest, if we are to usher Emet into his rest, we must needs bind his Asian soul, and then shatter it with overwhelming force. Oh, that fucking coughing fit I had earlier makes me unable to replicate his voice. Oh no. After this dialogue, I might need water. The former task requires oversight, and such have I prepared. Thus, upon the exarch's asking, no less. Though 'twas ever mine intent to provide said boon. The future whence our noble friend doth hail is a world fallen to Asian artifice, and he would not see such grim history repeated. In a sense, Emet destruction and the culmination of the Exarch's efforts, a reward for all he hath endured these many years. Yet even as thou stridest into the jaws of peril, forget not that his fondest wish, and that of many others besides, is to see thee survive unto the morrow. 'Tis in pursuit of that happiness, of outcomes, that I do pledge to remain at thy side. Our time in the first has been a never-ending succession of trials, and as arduous as our path in the first ever was. Yet through all our journeys together, through that deep and foreboding wood, you have helped me to stay true to my convictions. Thus would I return the favor, do as your heart decrees, without hesitation or regret. And that is all I will say on the matter. Well, this has put everyone in a solemn mood, hasn't it? Honestly, we're not even sure this will be the end of it. But I suppose we should speak our minds when we have the opportunity. You taught me that much in Amarang. So forgive me this moment of sentiment, Somnus. By dragging me into this sorry mess, you've given me the chance to act and think and act as I should have, for Rin's sake. Words cannot express how much this has changed my life, or how grateful I am for your support. So, I shall express my gratitude through action instead. No matter where you decide to go, I will be there, guarding your back. When Vinfilia entrusted me with her power, she warned me that no matter how strong you become, you can still fall victim to despair, and can still feel powerless. And she was right. After you collapsed on Mount Gog, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. If I made a mistake, if I failed to bind the light within you, I was terrified you would die. Even now, you could be moments from turning, and I wouldn't know how to save you. You, Thancred, the others, you've all been there when I needed help. Vinfilia surrendered her life to me, her legacy. I should be ready to do the same for you, and I want to do. I do. But I'm not good enough. She told me to follow your example, and I've tried. I've really tried. I'm not asking to be saved. But delighted, how can you go on? I see. If I'm to become what I wish to become, then there are some answers I need to work out for myself. No, nothing will come of brooding here in self-pity. I've made my decisions on this. I'm going with you. I could have chosen any of those dialogue options and it would have been extremely heartbreaking. Welcome to the capital. All visitors must present an official writ of permission before attendance will be granted. Your documents appear to be in order. You may proceed into the capital, but any guests you may choose to bring with you must remain in your vicinity at all times.
This really is unacceptable. I gave you very specific instructions.
Wow, it's quiet. I forget
Sulk.
I always put sounds and noises and whatnot lower off stream. I'll turn it back up later after this.
My invitation was for an abomination, ripe with the power to bring about the world's annihilation. Not this half-broken thing. Whatever am I to do with you? And I see you insist on keeping the same familiar company. Are you so lost without them?
It is not he who is lost without the familiar. Not content with remaking an entire city, you aim to fill it with the reconstituted souls of the dead.
I may have gotten a little carried away in my attention to detail, added a few unnecessary flourishes.
One moment. At least she knocked. Fucking least she knocked.
Well, there's no point trying to hide it. Yes. Once the rejoining of worlds is complete, Zodiac will regain his full strength and shatter his prison. Then we shall offer up the Source's remaining inhabitants in sacrifice, that we might resurrect our brethren who died to bring Zodiac into existence. But what was it that you came here to do exactly?
We came here for the Exarch.
Well, you can't have him. The wisdom that man guards may open up new worlds of possibilities. He has unlocked the secrets of travel across the rift, and through time as well, it would seem. Quite an accomplishment for one of his incomplete nature. I must explore the limits of his capabilities and harness that power for the Ardor. Even now, after everything, you refuse to see reason. You think it unfair that you are subject to suffering? That your lives will be sacrificed for the Ancients?
Look at me! I have lived 1,000 of your lives. I have broken bread with you, fought with you, grown ill, grown old, sired children, and yes, welcomed death's sweet embrace. For eons have I measured your worth and found you wanting. Too weak and feeble-minded to serve as stewards of any star. Have your recent spats with Vorthri and his Sin Eaters taught you nothing? Have you not learned that your ignorance and frailty beget only endless misery? How long do you mean to perpetuate this farce? How much more must I endure your bumbling interference? Let us imagine that the laws of reality are again undone and the world faces true annihilation. Do you honestly believe that half your number would sacrifice themselves to save the other? Of course they wouldn't! And if you had witnessed history unfold as I have, you would reach the same conclusion. You cannot be entrusted with our legacy. I will bring back our brethren, our friends, our loved ones. The world belongs to us, and us alone.
FFXIV! We understand, truly, but it makes no difference. The ones you love are in the past, while ours are here in the present. One day, we too will be ashes and dust, but not today. Our time is not yet finished. We share your conviction, and that is why we will not abandon our course.
You think us the same? You think your tattered soul of equal worth to those I lost? Then come. Earn your place. Prove yourselves worthy to inherit this star. Behold the coming oblivion. 'Twas the end of our era and the beginning of our great work. A fitting backdrop for your final judgment.
I shall wait within. But do not spend too much time on your preparations. There's no telling how much longer the guest of honor will last.
Oh, hey, the mirrorfish I put up for sale was up for was up. Okay. I'm gonna turn up the sounds. All right, our party shall be. I think the twins are pretty fitting for this. Still, just for the utility of having her. It's pretty limited selection, I'll be honest. Let's go. I fucking that again.
Welcome to the final days of Amarant.
Keep on skipping it. Whatever. We're in there.
The fabric of our star began to fray, and the unchecked energies of creation begat malformed beasts.
I wish I can order the NPCs, like the squadron NPCs, to get like, a certain mob. Because the squadron AI, when you go in squadron missions, for command missions, you have to have them disengage and re-engage with specific enemies.
Leave the healing to me.
And that just simply doesn't exist for trusts. I suppose you have to trust them to do their own decisions, yeah. But you can't even like edit their AI or anything like that. Again, makes only too much sense because like their AI is gonna always be different because her AI is dependent on the character rather than just like a generic AI. So they act differently depending on what character. The AI is different depending on what character is playing. And like it's already been demonstrated plenty of times. Like Alizé loves the melee combo. Alphino for the Alizé skill. Okay. Etc. etc. Rahatia as the Crystal Expert, as a trust NPC, will prioritize your healing, actually. I really like this armor set. It's not my favorite Dark Knight armor set by any stretch of the imagination, but oh, wait. Fucking horrible mistake. What am I doing? I just did a double pull of NPCs. By instinct, accidentally. Whoops. Whatever. Alphino will kill me. Alphino will shield me more like. I need to keep some NP on reserve for Blackest Night, because that shit's gonna be on cooldown now.
Leave the healing to me.
Anyways, I like this armor set for like sort of the story it tells. It's my personal headcanon for the Warrior Darkness. That your character kind of stomps or whatever. Like, yeah, sure, it's not gonna be true. It's a headcanon thing, of course it's not true. But stomps this thing as a protection against the light within them. Desperately trying to keep it contained. It's my personal headcanon. It's not true, I know that. But I actually don't know what the lore behind the what is it? What's it called again? The Bale set. I don't know what the lore behind it really is, honestly. I mean, like,
Just as prayer gives rise to primals, our dread made manifest our deepest fears.
none of the artifact armors really had any lore behind it at all. In fact, it doesn't say anything in the item description, anyways. Oh God. Okay. One moment. I need to check this out. Alright, everything should be good now. This right here is the first beast. Big guy black is like this? No, that was a waste from MG. And blood weapon still on cooldown, 30 seconds.
I will not hold back!
We have to hide behind one of these. I was too safe there. I totally am just gonna do this to refill my dark side. Oh fuck! Run! Okay. This thing eventually runs out of walls to drop on us anyway, so. I can black like this. It's wondrous how much fucking 1/4 of a Dark Knight's HP is, man. It really is. We're actually doing this at a pretty good pace. I suppose having both of our DPS have range would do that. I say as Ashnoa is right inside of it. Knight this, just so I can have full of time. And also because Black Knight's that fucking powerful. You know, this thing should be dead by now. Suppose just killing it right here. There we go. The voice of Emmett Silk didn't say anything there. Oh, he was on because it's because he's only talking about the first beast. He always speaks up whenever like the big picture shit happens, you know, when you're not dealing with beasts and whatnot. Speaking of which, how are these things any threat to the Amara team? Like, they're scaled to us, I get, but like, must be fucking like wasps because oh god, compared to the ancients. Though I suppose that one last one would be a pretty nasty big one. Why do I not have aggro on this thing? Is this what you... Okay.
Leave the healing to me.
You know, pulls like this are always so struggling because the NPCs don't do AoE damage.
On guard.
I don't suppose it would be that much harder to give them an AoE rotation when there's like 3 or more mobs on screen at once. Well, again, like I said, I suppose they don't want this to fall outright replace player parties. To the point where like a lot of people actually completely ignored the trust system, even when it was new, in favor of playing with their friends and whatnot.
The land buckled. The cities burned. The waters ran red with blood.
Yeah, even when the trust system was new, people still preferred to play with their friends. Don't blame them, honestly, but yeah. I think it's because of the idea that the AI is just always gonna be dumb as bricks. And I'm not saying they're strictly wrong here, because clearly they're not. Clearly they are not as good as, like, actual players, but they have certain perks to them.
Leave the healing to me.
For one, they're all in character. Remarkably. For better or for worse. For 2, they give a really good alternative for DPS who don't want to slog through queues, or just people who don't want to slog through queues anyways to begin with. I would have gotten an insta-queue. Actually, no, I wouldn't have gotten an insta-queue, because I saw a fellow paladin was also queuing for this, but she was queuing normally, not with NPCs, and as a result, she was stuck in a queue time, and she was still in a queue time when I queued in, so... Queue times aren't completely gone, is what I'm trying to say. Especially since this is pretty old content, compared to what a lot of people are running nowadays, so... I fear as though the game is a little loud, maybe? I don't know, I feel like I'm fine, but... I should probably speak up a lot more. Yeah, the NPCs are also, Anyway, it's just nice to have the idea to play with fucking Graha. Yeah, literally everyone's fucking husbando. Or Y'shtola, who's like the marketing poster girl of 14, because she's a cactual. Although that's her story, so we don't know that. Who took away 20% of that thing's HP? I wanna know. Yeah, that's the thing to counteract the fact that they only do single target. Is that they do kind of ridiculous DPS. Not like in of themselves. They don't do the most optimal rotations. They just do god damage.
Let's give them a show.
Like there's some of their moves can do as much as an element break 1 can.
You underestimate me.
Anyways, this is just ass to fight. It's gonna take a while because it's ads to fight, you know. And again with the whole AoE damaging thing. There's a reason why, by the way, a lot of people suggest do your AoE rotation no matter what the cost is. Even if you do god damage on your normal rotation, single target, it's not gonna replace AoEing. AoEing will always be more optimal for damage if there's more than one enemy on the screen. Or I suppose not. It's not that extreme, but it's definitely it's definitely more optimal when there's like, you know, multiple enemies on screen regardless. I feel like just 2 you're fine just single targeting. If you were really that confident in your god damage. But 3 or more I would start AoEing. I guess now that stuff's in here, we probably won't see this for a while. I can call this one Spray now. Even though that's barely a spoiler, but it's gonna... Because, like, almost everybody who has seen Dark Knights at level 80 cast their thing will know that it's Spray. But Hush, he doesn't play the game. He plays ESO. That's just me, I don't know. So it's very hard for him to get into other MMOs, because he's already into one. I'm sure if he wasn't already playing ESO, he would play this with me anyways. Very much his alley. Then again, he has very broad tastes, so... But, like, I don't think there's any denying that this is a huge time skip.
Yet this is far from the worst of it. Come, and I will show you.
Alright, this is gonna get hard. So I'm gonna wait for the
Just a little further.
you know, wait for the NPCs to regenerate.
And you will see the end of a world.
Yeah. Anyways, this game is a huge time investment. There's a huge time sink involved in it. To the point where even a watch it man like Patrick can't invest the time into it because it just takes that much time to go through the bare necessities, the bare minimum of what the story has to offer, what this game has to offer. It takes a lot of time. Realm Reborn is the length of a full-ass Final Fantasy game, 40 hours. And each expansion afterwards is like 20 to 30 hours. Shadowbringers is fucking expansive, it's ginormous. As well. But I think what's amazing about this game is that it gives back what you put into it. If you invest a shit ton of time, you will be rewarded. If you just go through everything it has to offer, you'll be rewarded with probably one of the best experiences, like, in the past, like, decade. But, you know, it's very, very hard for a lot of people to really enjoy this game for what it is, because it's so damn long. There's so damn much. And it takes a long time to get to the good bit as well, so... So I acknowledge that Patrick just didn't have the constitution and fortitude. And I can guarantee that, like, even if, Josh starts a free trial, he probably wouldn't get this far anyways. Because he'd be spending a lot more time with ESO. Why are you not focusing on the detonator? It's getting your Stola. Why is no one focusing it? It's only half. It's only halfway. Anyways, what we're seeing right now is what the planet looked like during the final days. Pretty fucking neat. He just kind of straight up teleported us to there, you know? Definitely a calamity. Fucking meteor strikes and whatnot. Of course, in Endwalker, we're going to the moon, so this is a sight that you'll see again.
Gloves are off.
Well, not necessarily like this. It's not gonna be fucking fiery and whatnot. Oh, maybe it will
The
be.
star was fading. We saw we had to weave its laws anew.
Maybe. Anyways, the DPS is gonna be slow. The NPCs will be avoiding that one AoE from that one mob. So it's gonna be slow.
This is going to leave a mark.
Okay, maybe putting the game at 100% was not the best idea, actually. We're getting a little bit of sensory overload with the amount of sound effects and shit going on, so I'm gonna put it down to 80. Oh, let's hear the voice as well, and won't be sensory overload. Then again, it is a dungeon, so it is a pretty chaotic moment where sensory overload would happen. So I guess I could turn it back up. I feel like 90 is a good medium. Definitely need to go for more water after this. Oh, okay, just bump the mic. I keep on bumping the mic. That's not a good thing. I haven't listened back to a lot of my streams whenever that happens, but it can't sound good. Readjust my mic cable so I don't bump that as much, at least. But the mic itself, it's gonna be next to me. It's hard to bump. It's hard not to bump it. Are the NPCs focusing on different enemies? Yeah. I always is focusing on the idolizer here, whereas Yashtola is focusing on the drainer. I guess that would be the optimal way to do it if you're, like, of comparable DPS to each other. So, like, you're better, Yashtola is accidentally doing AoE damage again.
Between us and our goal loomed a final misbegotten fiend.
Oh, the area's name is, Thus the third doom undo us. Huh. Poetic. What? Apocalypsis is happening, we have to go into these pockets here to avoid the fucking laser. This thing's whole gimmick is fuck you lasers. As a Dark Knight, I am confident in tanking this with some minimal damage. The fire underneath him I definitely can't stand in though. That gives you doom. And, well, I mean, obviously it'll kill you. I never figured out which one of these fires off the death ray first. Whether it's the right side faces or the left side faces. I'm never able to tell. So I just get hit by the first one, regardless, the first tick. Shadowbringers is a party buster. Deathly Ray is just, it's gonna target one of us and do a fuck you laser in their direction. Not a big fuck you laser, it's just a fuck you laser. He's about to do the big fuck you laser in a little bit, I think. Also, don't stand in the cracked spots. The cracked spots, well, they crack! Whenever Apocalypse is happening.
I will not hold back.
As you can see, that cracked spot just disappeared. Because of that. I'm actually kind of fucking worried. Oh, yeah, see? Yep, the fire gives too. Because, we've reached the edge here, which means that this thing does indeed have a softened rage. Where it'll kill you if you don't kill it fast enough. And I'm quite worried because normally we wouldn't be at 45% health when it comes back here. Like this. Kinda mortified, to be honest. hopefully the NPCs will pick up the slack. I think the idea is that we're just gonna barely make it. Because I don't think they do their rotations after when Apocalypse is happening. And it has a couple of Apocalypses before we get there anyways. To the Soften Rage. First one. I think what happens instead of a third Ethereum charge, the Soften Rage is gonna be the Apocalypsis after the last platform is cracked. We'll kill everyone. I think I've only seen the Soften Rage like once in all of my time of playing this game.
There'll be nothing left of you but a smoking crater!
It wasn't with NPCs actually, which is proof that sometimes it's better to go with NPCs. It was with a some dead DPS, I think, which just goes to show the importance of DPS. It was DPS who didn't quite understand the mechanics and stood in the cracked areas and fell to their dooms. And if you have both weakness stacks after dying twice, you'll probably do it, yeah. Especially after being dead for so long. I think the other issue was that tank is taking a shit ton of damage as well. You know, it's hard to keep up. This was back when, by the way, this was back when Astro, back in like 5. Before like Astro's rework in the middle of Shadowbringers. So Astro used up a shit ton more MP than it does now. So it's only understandable that the Astro was struggling to keep anything alive. And this was back when Gunbreaker was squishy as well. Gunbreaker's still squishy, but Brutal Shell didn't give the shield. So all in all, chaos was happening. It was kind of the worst combination of things to deal with. Anyways. Next cutscene.
Well, well, you prevailed.
Nevertheless,
Your performance was underwhelming, and I remain unconvinced of your worthiness.
Fair, honestly.
Oh, you tower over your misbegotten ilk, no doubt. But should I bring my full strength to bear, well, you would be as leaves in the wind. The gulf between us is a reflection of the disparity between the world as it was and what it has become.
Our worlds may not live up to your lofty standards, but they are our worlds, our homes, full of life and love and hope. And we won't stand by and let you destroy them!
Alize!
You are a mistake. For we who have known perfection, the shattered source and these shards are ghastly mockeries of the true world. The ephemeral lives you exalt are pale imitations, utterly devoid of meaning.
Belittle us all you like, but we will rise again and again, and give the lie to your insults through word and deed. We define our worth, not the circumstances of our creation.
More prattle.
Fool, who are you? No one, nothing. Once I have reclaimed my heritage, my first act will be to expunge your stain from history's weave. My world will have no need for heroes.
Still fighting the good fight.
It is true that all we hold dear is fated to fade away, but that is no reason for us to forsake it.
To take what steps we may, and thus mark the road for those who would follow. To strive for the best of all futures. Be this not also thy purpose?
Do not presume to speak of my future. And you? Why waste your final moments in futile defiance? Weary wanderer, you've no fight left to fight, no life left to live. You see, the light will not be denied. Surrender to your fate, and let the transformation take you.
Rise up in madness and fury. Devour the vermin infesting the land which is rightfully ours. Now, Reed! Now!
Fight it. You have to hold on.
If you had the strength to take another step, could you do it? Could you save our worlds?
You know I could.
Take it. We fight as one. This world is not yours to end. This is our future. Our story.
No, it can't be. Ah, that trick of the light. You are a broken husk, nothing more. How can you hope to stand against me alone?
We stand together!
How... I'm surprised you can stand at all.
I could not well leave matters half-finished. Let expanse contract, eon become instant. Champions from beyond the rift, heed my call!
Damn you! Damn you all!
It ends this day. One way or another, it ends.
Very well. Let us proceed to your final judgment. The victor shall write the tale, and the vanquished become its villain. But come, let us cast aside titles and pretense, and reveal our true faces to one another. I am Hades, he who shall awaken our brethren from their dark slumber.
So, this is one of the few times where we actually get justification for the other 7 members of our party. In this case, they are heroes from other stars, as opposed to just random adventurers we picked off the street, or friends that happened to be on a fishing trip. This time, they were summoned by Gratia as champions from another star. Which is cool! And we'll be waiting a while, because the dying gasp, not a lot of people do for fun. Not because it's bad, but because it's wholly unnecessary to do this fight for any reason whatsoever, other than main story completion. I might actually summon some... I'm not going to summon some friends of my own. All of them have left me. I am all alone. basically all wrong. Fuck, whatever. We'll wait the 8-minute queue. But yeah, it's really cool. They finally found a proper justification for at least this moment. So what else is in here? For ooh, when we hang out, I might actually do some farm movies. There's a lot of them around. It's gonna be like oh? Tarot readings! The Fate Weaver's Caravan is open for general reading. Shiro Apartments, Ward 23. Room 022. Fate Weaver, card code. Huh. That's one of my friends right there. I didn't know she was a... Like, she had the RP tag on, so I knew for a fact that, like, she wasn't available. But I didn't know she put up a party finder for tarot card readings. You might check that out if she's still available for that after a break. And, like, this is gonna take, like, probably an hour. Just for cutscenes alone. The music's badass too, by the way. But yeah, where the fuck are my friends? Why is this summoning spell taking so long to summon heroes from other stars? By the way, to summon other heroes. Indeed, they are specifically the 7 other stars that haven't had a calamity yet. I believe, right? Not including our own. Actually, no. There are only 6 stars left. Not including our own. Well, I suppose there could be multiple heroes from the same star, right? I suppose that could be the case, indeed. Ah, it skips the Eternal Wind part of the song when we fight. That's a shame. That's like my favorite part of the song. But then again, that's just because I'm a... You know, when I heard Eternal Wind, I just fucking like geeked out, just going like, that's Eternal Wind for Final Fantasy III! Of course everybody knows that as Eternal Wind for Final Fantasy XIV now. Nobody recognizes it as a song for Final Fantasy III. I actually recently saw a video that of a guy who started playing 14, or started the series off by playing 14, and is going like back to play the older Final Fantasies when the Pixel remasters came out, and he said that like, wow, the song Eternal Wind, like my favorite song from Shadowbringers, that originated from Final Fantasy III. I never knew that. And I was like, damn, we live in a generation where there are more people who recognize Eternal Wind from 14 than recognize it from Final Fantasy III. And that makes me kind of feel old, but at the same time makes me kind of feel way too nerdy. I quite like Final Fantasy III. I feel like people should play it, especially if they are big fans of 14. Because Shadowbringers takes a lot of influence from Final Fantasy III. And I suggest to a lot of people, I know it's not that much time left regardless, because fucking JRPG, but play Final Fantasy IV as well. Because Final Fantasy IV is going to have a lot of parallels with Endwalker. And that is a fact. And yeah. In all fairness too, by the way, not a lot of people have played Final Fantasy III, because it never got localized in the West until fucking 20 years later, when the 3D remake came out. Like literally, it was never re-released for the general public to play. For the general public, the Western market to play. Actually, when I say Final Fantasy III, I might be confusing a shit ton of oldies. because a lot of people, well, not really, it's common knowledge now, but a lot of people see Final Fantasy 3 as Final Fantasy 6, because when they localize Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasies 2, 3, and 5 never existed in the West. Only 4 came out as Final Fantasy 2. So to avoid confusion, they released Final Fantasy 4 as Final Fantasy 2 as a direct sequel to Final Fantasy 1, which came out like, what, 4 years earlier? And then Final Fantasy 3 as a direct sequel to that, and it caused decades of confusion. Eventually they gave up with Final Fantasy 7. I suppose a lot of it is because a lot of the people localizing the games and marketing the games weren't from Square Enix, but from Nintendo. And then Sony, when they were localizing Final Fantasy 7, was just like, the fuck? This is what you did? This is bullshit. They're just gonna say this is the 7th game in the series and make people even more confused. But what happened to 4 through 6? And then just educate them on what happened to 4 through 6, and that Final Fantasy 3 was Final Fantasy 6, and yada yada yada. It is way too confusing. It is way too confusing. Anyways, this queue is taking a while. And nobody's doing it with me. I might just wait until more people go online. Like more people from DFC go online. And ask them to help me. Gonna need to. Cause one, I cannot emphasize this. Not only would it make 0 sense because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other bastards summoned with me. But yeah. Also, by the way, it's actually not really Heroes from Ember Stars. It could be that these are all our adventurer friends from the source. The same adventurer friends who came with us to fight Susano in the Far East, who came with us to do the fucking Barnum's Medal, who even defeated the Ultima weapon with us. I think that's the real implication, as opposed to these are Heroes from Ember Stars. Like the 2nd, or the 3rd, or the 4th, or whatever. I think that's really the implication, because, like, what if you had a party with you from, like, way back when, and you're still playing the game with them now, and it makes no goddamn sense why they would be in the source with you, or not the source, the first with you, because fucking, canonically only you got plucked. Yeah, I don't know either. We found another tank buddy. I think it's the same tank that we found, the Paladin that we found still queuing up for Amarant earlier, after we I think it's that one singular tank. Yeah. Like I said, not a lot of people really do this for fun, and there's no real incentive to do this. You don't get levels from it yet, because it's level cap. And all the rewards that you would get from Hades is from Extreme. You know, the mount and whatnot. And by all intents and purposes, that shit's butt-fuck easy. So, because you have to just, all you have to do is stand in the one spot. I don't know which one spot it is, by the way. I've never cleared Hades. But it is the one spot. It is just one spot, because I think modern DPS can barrel through most of the mechanics that would require you to deviate from that singular spot. So all you have to do is just stand in that one spot and bully him. So if anybody ever wants to fight this fight and hear the music from it, and, you know, etc., just for fun, they would do the extreme version, because, well, for some reason that is easier. Same thing with Crown of the Immaculate. When we fought Incense earlier, last stream, a lot more people, if they ever wanted to fight Incense for fun, they would do the extreme version instead, because that is also inexplicably somehow easier. The reason why is because in the normal version, I think it's something to do with like they swapped the normal and extreme ad phases, because in the normal version, the ad phase is really fucking difficult. If your gear's not up to par and you don't have level 80s in your party, it is fucking tough to deal with the ad phase. And oftentimes you'll end the ad phase with like very little wiggle room, you know? Whereas in the extreme version, there's only 3 ads. Only 3, and there's not even like a time limit to kill. Oh, there is, but like it's not even like a the bar fills up slower. So yeah. The only difference is that the ads have to be tanked away from each other in extreme. So you deal with them the same way you deal with Titania's ads. You know, the DPS and healers tank one. The off-tank tanks another, and the main tank takes the last one. And they all have to be separated. That's literally the only difference. But there's still, like, normal-ass ads, and, like, considering, again, modern DPS and... hell, even, like, back then, when it was new, when you had just Tombstone gear, it was butt-fuck easy to do that ad phase compared to, normal version. However, it seems that our queue has been extended. It's literally just me and the one paladin I found doing the story with me, who are in queue right now. There was a couple of DPS, and then they realized that they were a couple of DPS, and so they left. They might come back with a bigger party, who knows? And is there a party finder for this? I doubt it. No. Again, nobody does the normal versions. Everybody, if they want to do Easter Fun, they would do extremes, because that's where you actually get your lords. I'm actually baffled that you don't get Moogle Tones from doing Dying Grasp. They're running a Moogle Tones event right now, where you get Moogle Tones for doing main story, or shit that's required for the main story. I say that when fucking the Warring Triad gives you Moogle Tomes, and no other Heaven's Word trial gives you Moogle Tomes. So, maybe it's not what I think. But Amarok gave you Moogle Tomes, yeah. It's supposed to encourage people to do older content that other players are, like, doing to catch up to the main story. But, like, obviously the content's dead, right? So it's just to reinvigorate it. But, actually, I'll tell you why not a lot of people are doing Moogle Tomes anyways. Like, even if Dying Grasp did have Moogle Tomes attached to him, nobody would do them. Nobody would do it, because, there is a way to farm Moogle Tomes on the latest Moogle Tome event that is fucking ridiculous. The idea is you bring in a party of Blue Mages, full party except for one who's just a normal tank, queue up for, and then you queue up for, fucking one of the Bahamut raids. Turn 2, I believe. Yeah. You queue up for this with, basically a full party of Blue Mages, and absolutely destroy everything, in, like, the matter of seconds. With this very specific Blue Mage rotation that involves maximizing Final Sting to its fullest potential damage, and having 6 Blue Mages hit it. It is actually broken. It is ridiculous, and you can get hundreds of Moogle Tomes within the course of mere hours. To put some perspective, the amount of time it would take to do one Praetorium one, which would give you 10 Moogle Tomes, that's just a ridiculous amount. The amount of time it would take to do that would net you somewhere around 50 Moogle Tomes if you did that method. Hey, we queued! It's a Christmas miracle! nor writ, but dying grasp. Alright, here are my buddies! Oh wait, no, guys. Hades is gonna show up first.
Hades, show me your vaunted strength, and I shall expose the lie of your fragmented existence.
Our friends! Oh hey, we have another Dark Knight here looking. He's also wearing the gear. He's probably going through this the first time. I'm not allowing them to understand the thing. There's not really a lot of mechanics to try and understand here. And by all means, this is an easy fight still. Like, Extreme is easier, so that only explains how easy this fight is, right? The hardest part is actually second phase, though, and it's hard to kind of gauge what you're supposed to do there, but I mean, we're all level 80 here, a lot of us are probably using pretty modern gear. It's going to be stupid how quickly this guy will die.
Scurry and scatter.
It really is just avoid AoEs. Some AoEs in this phase is kind of hard to gauge what they are like. And it's unfortunate that we don't fight this first phase of Hades too long. He's a really cool design. Yeah. This fight is actually kind of piss easy for what it is. From perspective, these shadows of the ancients here, they go down like bitches. Like, they really do. And to be fair, like, there's already, there are a lot of them, and we have to dispatch of them quickly. But yeah. Alright. He's going to stick
Stifled by this vessel of flesh.
Everything is covered in darkness now.
The future of these stars shall be shaped by my hands. I shall be raised up by the prayers of my fallen brethren. Behold!
Ah, come on, seriously.
Tremble before my glory.
Oh yeah, we get it. You're big bad boss man now. Alright, this phase is relatively simple. Oh. Well, that wasn't. Is targeting the other tank? Yes, it is. So that's the tank buster there. Okay. This is the mechanic that's piss easy. And it kind of constantly does this in extreme, so...
I am now my puppet lord!
Stay away from me. I'm just taking. There we go. Oh, over here, over here. Oh, this is gonna hurt. So we'll be stuck in this Imperial jail. They have to break us out. Like, they really have to break us out. Like, they really need to break us out. Alright.
This place will be your tomb!
We get doing, and we have to stand in these to cleanse the beast eventually. All of us have to stand in it.
Drown despair!
Life in captivity. This will put all of us into a jail.
My dormant brethren, dream now of a dark tomorrow. By our gathered might, must reclaim these vain reflections. In Zodiac's name, I beseech you!
The light within her champions now grow faint. Unleash our light!
Has the warden's light won free? No. Damn you! Damn your wretched blessing!
Alright, and now we have limited time to kill him now. Very limited, actually. There's a hard enrage here. And I mean it. The stage is going to grow smaller and smaller. The smaller it goes, you know, the harder it is to, like, yeah, I don't know, do the living thing. So, we need to kill it. I don't know why no one's doing the LB3 here. There we go!
You have no power over me!
Alright. I'm gonna take off my helmet for this next cutscene. For a pretty particular reason, actually. I want to see my face.
Will not yield. Should I surrender this fight, what will become of it all? What will become of our dreams?
Enough, damn you!
Such infernal strength!
Now! Strike with all thy might!
Remember. Remember us. Remember that we once lived.
It's over. Emet-Selch is no more.
More importantly, how do you fare?
What dost thou see?
His ether. It is as it used to be. As a disciple of Zodiac, the Ascian was the darkness to your light. I can but assume that when you set your strength against his, the light within you was spent.
No, it's more than that. Under the strain of that incredible flood of ether, your soul had begun to break apart. Yet now it seems somehow restored. I tried to help you before the battle, but Emmett Selk stopped me. So, how did you... exactly what did you... Can you tell us what happened?
I had help from a hero of this world.
I see.
Where to start? I believe I owe you all an apology. And you, most especially.
It's good to see you awake, Grahatia.
Well, 'tis good to be awake.
Here we go, we're playing Eternal Wind again. Of course that was Harper's axe, by the way. Whose else axe could it have been? I love the song, by the way. It's a beautiful composition. Blew away fucking Matsu himself.
So, those mad souls dove straight into the ocean over there, did they?
All I could see from here was the whale, Master Chai.
'Twas surely Alphino and those friends of his. They did something heroic, mark my words. You need only look up there for proof of that.
As you say, my love. They're sure to be back any moment now. Any moment.
They are coming back, aren't they? I couldn't bear the thought of...
They're there, dear. Everything will be all right.
There, look! Over there, over the beach!
Here comes the credit sequence. There I am.
Ho there! Greetings! You all right?
Welcome back!
Ah, there's my beached up friends. Wait a minute. That suggests that we swam back here.
I didn't think we'd be swimming the whole way back.
It seems I was right. Oh, Alphino.
Heavens, take me.
Oh, poor Alphino.
Alphino! Oh, hells.
Wait a minute. If we had to swim all the way back, what the fuck happened to Urion J? Can't he not swim as well?
Wait! Where's Urianger?
You see, that's what I was saying.
He must have fallen behind.
But shouldn't we look for him?
He'll wash up sooner or later.
Wash up. Not swimming back.
For the love of... Alphino!
Welcome back, dear ones!
And thus did salvation come to the first. The lamps of Amarot will fade along with Emet-Selk's enchantments, and the depths shall be as once they were. Mount Gulg will one day fall, and the Talos below yield to wind and rain. This tale, too, will fade with time, passing into legend as the world heals and moves on. Nevertheless,
all the way up to the left, Urion J beached up. Literally my favorite scene in the entire expansion, just because of that. Love it.
as ether obeys the cycle, as death and decay gives way to new life, so too do the memories we share inspire others to rise to greatness. For we who walk before may lead those who walk after. Your road goes ever on, as does your story, as does your legacy. Such is the hero's lot, to touch the lives of countless others.
Excuse me? You're the Warrior of Darkness, aren't you? Where are you from, really? And how did you get to be so strong?
Oh man. It's not even the end of the Shadowbringers storyline, by the way. is we still need to bring our friends back to the source. And other things that introduces itself in 5.1. But needless to say, yeah, that's the end of the main expansion. It's fucking long. It was so much longer than I thought it was, man. I thought it was going to be like the size of Stormblood or Heaven's Word, which was like 20 hours each, right? 25 maybe at the most. This is like closer to like, and that's like the expansions in their entirety too, not just the main expansion. So that would include all the patch quests. But this was 20 hours by itself. Like, without any of the patch quests at all. This was a lot longer than I thought it was. It doesn't feel nearly as long, though. Like, for example, this last stretch was 2.5 hours long. I thought it was gonna be just, like, 1 hour, you know? I love this song. Although Endwalker's theme is definitely stuck in my head too as well. Yeah, this is just like Heaven's Word was really special to me as well because like I played this game because of 2 reasons: Dark Knight and Dragoon, actually. I keep on ranting and raving, but like Dragoon was the reason why I got into this game. Dark Knight was the other reason. And the idea that I could be both on one character at the same time without having to level another character was like really cool. You know, on top of the fact that Dragoon existed. It was really fun. But like to see my favorite tank job, at that point at least, my favorite tank job given justice with its own expansion, I got really hyped. Dark Knight has had a really bad rep before Shadowbringers came out, and I really like the place that it went to in Shadowbringers. It's proto warrior that's a little edgy and a little faster, I feel, than warrior actually, because of the off globals. It has a lot more off globals than warrior has that aren't tied to cooldowns, and yeah, that's a painful scene to get. Yeah. I'm gonna speed up the credit sequence. Whoop. I just dropped something. Okay, I just flung it across the room. Okay. But yeah, so I'm okay with the place it is in right now. I, like many others, wanted to have its own kind of identity aside from just being edgy warrior. But it definitely does feel a lot faster than warrior. And if you play both in depth, you'll start to notice that there's still a pretty big difference in between them. I feel one thing that a lot of people are actually really disappointed in is in Endwalker. It only gets one new ability, which is Shadowbringer. It's called Shadowbringer. You know, its namesake from this expansion. Actually, its namesake came from another game with Dark Knights in it, which is where Shadowbringers came from. Was that? Anyways, it's just too perfect. But at the same time, like it kind of just looks like a different Flood of Darkness. Flood of Shadow, I mean. But it only looks like a slightly different Flood of Shadow. So that's what's disappointing a lot of people, and I get that, but, it's, like, Bloodspiller was the, like, the move that they used in the, Shadowbringers trailer, at the end of it, where, the Dark Knight will, kills that once-a meter, and splits the sky in half. But, like, Bloodspiller kind of looks dopey in comparison in-game. Shadowbringer definitely totally looks like that move fully realized. But like that's kind of it, right? Like Warrior becomes the Fell Cleave. It becomes a buzzsaw of death. Gunbreaker gets an extra cartridge slot and a 2 cartridge spender that looks like Cypher's Bloodfest in Final Fantasy VIII. Paladin fucking gets unlimited blade works. And Dark Knight just kind of gets Blood Spiller plus Flood of Darkness rolled into one 2-in-1 combo deal. Doesn't sound as cool as fucking saying unlimited blade works, but then again, Dark Knight had its time in the sun. I'm satisfied with where it was in Shadowbringers and where it's going in Endwalkers, even if I'm not gonna play it nearly as much as maybe Gunbreaker or Paladin. Dragoon looks really cool anyway, so. Alright, so in terms of this expansion, what we've done so far, I love it, obviously. I gush about it all the time, back in the previous streams. And I'm sure if Stas were here, he'd probably say something to a similar effect. Its pacing is fucking godly. Like, I was not kidding when I say that this goes at a breakneck pace. And the story in of itself is really well written. It's really fucking good. And it calls back to a character that if you didn't do the Crystal Tower raids, you would not know. And to be fair, like, if you did the Crystal Tower raids, like, just like, less than a year before you played Shadowbringers, you'll definitely know who the fuck the Crystal Exarch is, and you'll definitely say, oh, that's Grahatia. You know, like Stas predicted, back in the last stream. And it gets pretty obvious. For a lot of people who hadn't touched the Crystal Tower raids in years because they couldn't physically, they didn't know what it was about, then, yeah. But a lot of people already figured it was Grahatia pretty early on. I figured it was Grahatia pretty early on, actually. But, like, I didn't want to say anything definitively. And in truth, I didn't say anything definitively around Stas either. Because even if it is obvious, there's every possibility that it could be just a different original character. And the Crystal Tower raids are not canon, so. But because I said multiple times that, like, the Crystal Tower raids were required for Shadowbringers, then, yeah. You know, like, who else could it be, right? Still a good twist, though. It's a good, you know, you got a good twist when the writing is still quality and good, even if people knew what was happening, and could see it from a mile away. And it's still heartbreaking and not heartbreaking, but heart-wrenching. Heartwarming was the word, sorry. To see, Grahatia again. In Shadowbringers, when the reveal happens, it's still very heartwarming to see his face. Interesting factoid, actually, about Grahatia Trust. He actually has 2 different trust entities. Him as the Crystal Exarch and him as Grahatia. And they are fundamentally different. Grahatia is he says different lines and does different things, has more actions and whatnot as Grahatia than he does as the Crystal Exarch. His animations are different as well. Crystal Exarch's animations use a Huron character model, possibly just to, you know, keep up the mystery of who the Crystal Exarch was, but after the reveal that he's Grahatia, his animations are Kelte now. And whoopsies, by the way, I just spoiled that Grahatia is a trust NPC in the trust system, but I mean, he's the last trust NPC actually you unlock, so it makes sense. He's an amazing trust character as well. He's like he's actually the best. because when he's on Black Mage, he's comparable to Y'shtola. When he's on his Black Mage, when he's on Paladin, I don't really have him on Paladin much anyways, though. I have him on either Black Mage or Healer. Especially White Mage Healer. Because Gratia uses Holy. Liberally. Which, as a tank thing, fucking godly, because Holy is a healing spell. It actually, what Holy does is it stuns all enemies it hits. So not only is it an AoE spell, but it also stuns things. So I don't have to worry about taking damage for like 7 seconds or whatever. Not only does he like have liberal use of Holy, he doesn't spam it, but he uses it liberally. But not only that, he prioritizes the player healing over all else healing, because he's just like that. So pretty objectively, he is the best healer. Wait, Artbird, man. Artbird's such a good character. I love him so much. Good, Shadowbringers! Like, you would've thunk that, like, it had, like, really good waifus in it, you know? But really, it just had really good husbandos in it. You get Thancred being a dad. You get, yeah, you get Artbird. You got Emmett Silk, which a lot of people do sympathize with, especially after hearing his story. You get Artbird, which there he is with his friends. There he is. The boy. We get more insight into Artbird and his friends if we do the role quests, which I might do, honestly, because they're good. And they don't take up a lot of time. But there is like 4 of them, so I don't know. Or 4 cycles of which. Other than that, there's also Gratia, of course, which is like everybody's best boy, you know. And in general, just like a lot of husbandos to finish. The only real waifu, honestly, is just Y'shtola. Which, you know, makes sense, right? But, like, Reen isn't really much of a waifu, is she? Because, like, she's, like, what, 14? And Alize isn't much of one, because she's also, like, young as well. 16 biologically, 17 in terms of mental years. But then again, mental years don't really matter because, you know, Gratia's lived 300 fucking extra years compared to us. He is an old man. He was in the First for about 100 years. But, like, even before that, like, he was sleeping in the Crystal Tower for about 200 years. And it's just a lot. Like, there are a lot of Emmett Silk stands as well. Like a lot. Like, it's an uncomfortable amount, I would say. That's the expansion, yeah. Really, I just wanted to stream this just to get it out of the way, you know? Like, because, you know, just to finish up Shadowbringers, I don't know if I'll actually do the patch quests, because I'm streaming to effectively no one now, because Stas is gone, and, Patrick, oh boy, he has extra time to catch up, and I might wait for him, because he's kind of the only person I can stream to now. But, he has a lot to catch up on. He has, like, 50 or 60-something hours to catch up on. And while I could do the patch quests pretty quickly, I think I could knock them out in a weekend. I think I can knock them out in a weekend. But, but I have limited weekends, you know? So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the weekend before Shadowbringers or Endwalkers' launch, I'll do the patch quests. And that will be like the final time limit for patching. I'll actually message him right now, see how far into the streams he's gotten. If he's online. Which I don't think he is, because he started work just an hour ago. And yeah, he isn't online. Okay. I'll send him a ping. Just a ping. I don't know if he'll understand what pings are, because I don't ping him. And by the way, pinging, I'm not talking about like pinging in a Discord server. I'm talking like literally DMing the guy the word ping. Just to kind of get the, ping out there, so that he, I really need Patrick. I really need to do that more to Patrick, because he does not respond to DMs at all. And I saw him texting in the other server, so I know that he's actually logged on to Discord. He just never bothered to look at his DMs. Stupid, I tell you, stupid. This is a long-ass credit sequence. I mean, Stormblood's was pretty long, but like this is like insane. I mean, at least I think we're at the logos now, so we're like nearing the end. Now they're crediting the guest creators. Yes, Eden Raids is with Tetsuya Nomura. Honestly, he just designed drew the character designs for that raid. That's it. And Yoko Taro also worked on the mirror raids. He actually wrote them though, so. Anyways, this is a special guests and acknowledgements and whatnot. I don't know where it spits us out, by the way. I think it spits us out at the Ocular. During the credit sequence and the and whatnot. Producer and director Naoki Yoshida. Produced by Square Enix Company Limited. Yeah, it spits us out of the Ocular. Alright.
By your deeds has the blinding light been banished from these skies, and the Sin Eaters driven to retreat. Although our many hurts will be years in the mending, I have faith that this world and her people will one day be whole once more. With no rejoining in prospect, the Source need no longer fear the coming of an 8th umbral calamity.
And with that triumph, the future from which you came will no longer come to pass. Yet here you still stand.
So I do. I wonder if that other age continues onward somehow, cut adrift from time's flow. Or have I simply etched myself a place upon this new block of history? Either way, this is an unexpected development. As the summoner of your souls, My death was meant to release you back to your world. Yet I am very much alive, and you are still stuck here in the First.
I believe I speak for us all when I say that we are happy to postpone our return if it means your life is spared. We will seek out another way.
Besides, I never had any intention of rushing home. There are people here I still need to thank, and this means I might actually have time to do so.
Yet we dare not neglect our comrades in the Source. Mistress Tataru, to name but one, will be most anxious to know how things stand with us.
So, you'll just have to make the journey alone for the moment. Be sure and give a full report to our fellow scions, will you? Oh, and we'd also appreciate any news you can bring us from back home.
Then I see no reason to delay. I can open the path from here.
I imagine we each have matters demanding our attention, so let this be a farewell for us all. Send word when you've resummoned our friend. Oh, and do try to ensure he arrives within the city next time.
Of course. I shall strive for utmost accuracy. No strange forests or unplanned passengers, I promise.
I'm a little relieved, to be honest. I would have been terribly lonely if everyone had suddenly disappeared. But I understand that you have to go. Safe journey, warrior of darkness. I hope to see you again soon.
Just a moment while I attune the portal. Then you can be on your way. When I was a boy, many long years ago, I yearned to stand tall as the heroes of Eld. But like a fool seeking to pluck the stars from the heavens, my every attempt to reprise their deeds fell short. And then one day, an all but forgotten dream from my youth stood before me in the flesh. A hero who looked at the horizon and beyond and saw I knew not what. All I knew was that I would give anything to stand at that hero's side. Would that it was so easy. The glory of the heavens was ever beyond the grasp of those who never thought to reach for it. But if I have gained anything from all of this, it is the courage to stretch out my hand. Do you hear me, Grahatia? This is no time for sleeping.
Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace in the Source.
To the West Gate. I want to know what's happening there.
Same as the others. Struck down with a single blow. An unfortunate day to draw guard duty. Forgive me. These were your people.
We took advantage of this slaughter to slip into the palace. 'Tis not for me to grieve them. That was the Emperor. Wait! Ugh! You Radiants!
Gaius, you've missed your part in this, I'm afraid.
Identify yourself, demon!
You were hoping for the Ascian? The Craven shed this skin and fled, rather than face me. A pity. I was looking forward to crossing blades with myself. But I cannot deny the feeling of satisfaction. Body and soul reunited at last.
What now? The game continues, but the pieces have changed.
Only if we trust in a paragon's words. A mistake I do not intend to repeat. Gaius!
He speaks the truth. Elidibus is gone. Tore a hole into the rift. Xenos, my foolish, greedy son. Was a second life not enough? Was the Empire too rich a prize to ignore? True freedom for our nation, our people, will never be won by a spoiled princeling. The burden of this throne is beyond you.
'Tis you, father, who have struggled with this burden. Simply holding the Empire together has occupied your limited faculties. But you may take comfort in knowing that I have no intention of pursuing your tedious agenda. Nor am I interested in ruling over the Empire's lands. I came only to remove that which ruins my sport. I will not have my prey stolen by your petty wars and cowardly weapons.
You would kill me just for that.
I need no other reason. Any and all who interfere with my hunt will not do so twice! I heard the Ascians speak of Zodiac and Eidolon. Even the will of this star is but a construct of our own making. We shall gorge upon their strength, and then, my friend, our contest shall begin anew.
Xenos!
Well, that's one hell of a cliffhanger, isn't it? We explore the conflict in further depth in 5.1. But for now, we're finishing up Shadowbringers. There's a whole other world ahead, away from us. Well, actually, not a whole other world away from us now, because we're in that same world. But just mere moments ago, when it was happening, it was a whole other world ahead of us. Yeah, the storm is, by the way, the storm that was happening outside is going insane. The wind is done, at least, but it is raining profusely right now. Let's go. I want to get out of this glamour pretty quickly, actually. As much as I like this, I do indeed prefer being Catboy Noctis, so...
But, Somnus? Is it really you?
Yo.
But how? When? We didn't think you'd be back for ages.
Would you rather I won again?
Oh, don't be daft. I just can't believe you're actually back. We heard the good news from your pixie friend, but nothing compares to seeing you in the flesh. As for the situation on this side, the Imperials are still eyeing our forces from afar. From what I'm told, the Gallian armies have been slow to react and seem reluctant to commit to any large-scale engagements. It's an odd sort of stalemate. Otherwise, we've yet to see any sign that is of that awful black rose weapon we were warned about. Oh, but I suppose we did call in an old friend to help out on that count. Cryo and I had a terrible time tracking him down, though. It will be worth it to see the look on your face when you find out who it is. Anyway, I was just about to make a contact with this helper of ours, and then confirm the latest news from the front. Might you fancy having a rest while I do? Ah, the Warrior of Light, back where he belongs, just as if nothing had happened. Well, you do seem different somehow. You'll have to tell me about all your adventures when we next have a spare moment. Until then, welcome back. And that is the end of... Oh, fuck. Actually, I need to... Stas, if you're... Oh, never mind. Cutscene first. After this cutscene, Stas, close your eyes. Indeed, Patrick, if you're watching this like 2 centuries into the future, well, close your eyes as well. Oblivion has claimed him. Emet-Selch, gone. La Habrea, gone. I alone remain, the last of the Unbroken.
Once more, I am moved to reevaluate the potential of these tattered souls. Ah, Xenos, never did I dream you could overpower me so completely, possessed as I was of your body and all its uncanny strength. And now that I have shared with you the truth of this world and its reflections, you can predict how events will unfold. Not I. Who can predict? Okay. Emissary, what a poor jest that turtle has become. The flow of history has become muddled, its currents wild beyond my capacity to redirect them. You have wrested the advantage, Heidelin. The thieving hands of your disciples tighten their grip on our star. The origins of the world remain hidden, and its inhabitants ignorant of their broken existence, just as you and your creators desired. They celebrate the gift of imperfect life, uncaring, unknowing as we weaken and fade. But do not imagine yourself rid of us. Though your champion has indeed proven the most egregious obstacle to our ascendance, a barbed thorn in my side, he may yet be removed and cast into the abyss. Yes, it can be done. I'll keep these heroes mired in the first, and victory will be ours at the last. Warriors of darkness now, are they? Then their fate is decided. They shall meet the same end as those who came before. Death at the hands of warriors of light! God damn it, there's more! There's so much cutscene, actually, yeah. I kinda just wanted to end with this, but whatever. This is the setup for the Eden raids, by the way. It seems you were right. Yes, there is something out there. But it would mean crossing mons and mons of this infernal emptiness, which is rather unhealthy for living creatures, as I understand it. Even when we restrict ourselves to brief forays, I don't like to imagine the effect it would have on our ether. But you still want to go, don't you? We may have saved the world, but we haven't reclaimed it. Ah, when you put it that way. What choice do we have? Excuse me. I'm hungry. Well, of course I'm going with you. That's what family is for, isn't it? Come, let's head back and prepare for this mad journey of yours. Thank you, Thancred. That's the setup for the Eden raids. Basically, it's going to be a continuation of what we were doing in the Shadowbringers story, where we were, where now we're reclaiming the lands lost to the flood of light, and that right there is Eden. Though blazing skies give way to gentle night, what hand can end the war of dark and light? You have completed the main quest scenario for Shadowbringers. By opening the Trust interface located under Duty, you may now repeat previously completed main store and scenario dungeons with a party of NPC avatars. Avatars will gain EXP and level up in accordance with their duty participation. For more information, please refer to the help found within the interface itself. Furthermore, bolstered by your experience in the first, you are now able to accept new quests from job-related NPCs in the source. In order to access them, the following conditions must be met: reach level 80 in a certain job, or in a given job, complete the relevant level 70 job quest, and complete the associated role quest line. Quest locations and other details can be revealed in the level 70 job quest journal entry. In addition, quests fucking Christ. In addition, quests to unlock new contents have now become available in the Crystarium. Rest well, Warrior of Light and Darkness, for 2 worlds of adventure await your return. Okay, I need to, like, look away, like, NO! Okay. You saw nothing. You really should have been closing your eyes, by the way. You can open your eyes now, but I am looking away from the Rising Stones because it is wildly different than what it should be. So I'm just going to look away so that I won't spoil you guys for the end of Shadowbringers. Even though you probably already know that we're bringing our friends back to the source. And so seeing Alphino in front of me probably wasn't that much of a spoiler. But everything else around him is totally spoilers. So I'm just gonna look away. That being said, that was 3 hours of the end of Shadowbringers. God damn. That makes Shadowbringers Part 2 something like... fuck. That made Shadowbringers Part 2 like, that would have made Shadowbringers Part 2 like... How long was the last stream? Adding the half hour on top of that original stream, since we had a half hour afterwards, and now original stream was like 12 hours long. This is 15 hours long. Hot damn. To be fair though, the start of Shadowbringers Part 2 isn't actually the exact halfway point of Shadowbringers, but regardless, that means that Shadowbringers, this base expansion, is like 30 hours long. It's a lot, and there's more too. And yeah, I don't know if I want to do the Eden quests, because by all intents and purposes, they're not really needed to understand the rest of the Shadowbringer storyline. But if we do them after the Shadowbringer storyline, it won't make sense, because it takes place before we bring our friends back. Not the whole raid series, but most of it. I suppose the best way to do it is really just to do the main quest, and then do the Eden raids, and just pretend as though we're just back to before we brought our friends back, for the points in which we are with our friends. I'm specifically talking about Thancred and Urion J. I suppose that could be a thing, yeah. Whatever. I think I'm just gonna end the stream here, since there's no more story after this, and I'm just gonna chill. I might fire up the stream again, though, if I just want to do other things. So I might not. Who knows? I might just go and play Metroid Dread for like 8 hours after this. Because goddamn, do I suck at this game? Not this game. That game. Dread. Goddamn, do I suck at it? And fucking like apparently, in order to get apparently they expect you to speedrun the game in 4 hours to get to unlock all the content. And I already passed that, so oh, it's definitely the type of game to be replayed though, because you know, since it's the type of game where, like, if you have knowledge of a previous playthrough, you'll definitely go through to your next way faster. I'm just saying that, just like, goddamn, it's hard. As it should be, as it should be. It's very rare that Nintendo brings out a hard game. But anyways, this is not the Dread stream. This will never be the Dread stream. My next Dread, when I stream Dread, it'll probably be during my like 3rd or 4th playthrough, when I'm trying to go for those faster times. It is kind of a strict requirement, especially since on top of it there's hard mode as well. So I can only assume there's like a New Game Plus feature though as well, since that comes standard. And besides, how else are you gonna need to beat the game in 4 fucking hours? Unless you're actually a speedrunner. Although, like I said, like, it's a game where if you know what you're doing, you can beat it quickly, I'm sure. I just don't know what I'm doing. Again, this is not the Dread stream. Fuck, I'm gonna end the stream now.